So what I always find fascinating is thinking about Jesus as, like, if you're a disciple, right? Like, what's a normal conversation that you have with Jesus gonna be like? That's not recorded in the Bible.
Right,
What do you
right.
think? Like, if Paul or Peter, they're on the boat fishing with Jesus, what are the conversations that lead up to those moments? Or like, who was walking on water? Peter,
Yeah,
the
well, yeah,
doubter, or something. Anyway, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
what kind of conversations would they have with Jesus?
right,
Or what was he like as a teenager?
right.
So like, or did he ever have a crush on somebody?
Mm.
Did he have those? I mean, he felt human things, anger, um,
Yep, yeah.
fear.
Mm.
In the garden when he was praying before crucifixion. So he obviously feels love.
Right.
But did he ever get to that point? Do you think of love like with that affection toward like that you get when you start dating,
Right.
or like that crush kind
Right.
of feel? What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, to be honest. But I mean, we could start off with Jesus as being a human being. I think Jesus was obviously is God. So when He created all things, time, space, matter,
Mm-hmm.
uh, everything that we see here that exists today, I think that Jesus, when He came to Earth, He knew when He made human beings, Adam and Eve, that they were going to sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that Jesus knew that He eventually had to be that eventual the last like sacrifice
Yeah.
to atone our sins and to make us perfect in God's eyes. So when Jesus was born, I think that a lot of His recordings just wasn't really valid. I wasn't really. I don't want to say valid, but it really wasn't. Didn't really mean like as much because the
Right.
sole purpose of the Bible is
Yeah,
salvation,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So about him being a teenager is really doesn't bring somebody to salvation. So it's all about the New
Sure.
Testament. It's about his missionary and what he did,
Yeah,
to
right,
people.
right.
So
I get
do I
that.
believe that he had feelings in a sense of attraction to somebody?
Mm.
I don't. I don't think he did at all. I think he knew when he was born he was God, and so I think that he knew the bigger picture and things. And I think that was people's souls, not dating somebody.
You don't think he ever wanted to, like, obviously he was around people that had kids. You
Right.
don't think he ever wished he had, a wife and kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
a family. I mean,
Right.
obviously, he's
Yeah.
bigger than that. But on the level of having human traits,
Mhm.
because if God created obviously everything, right? He created that he created attraction. He created
Right.
emotions that
Right.
we go through. So
Yeah.
then Jesus himself had to have had some type of
Well,
like.
no, I mean I don't necessarily think that's true. I don't think he had to have feelings. But again, we're trying to compare God to
He had to
us.
have his own thoughts, right?
Yeah, but we're trying to compare God to human beings. Like as far as like we're created because of God, right? But we didn't create God. God is always
Right.
existed. So he had his own thoughts, his own mind. He so when we try to compare God to human beings, there's some conflict there because it's not.
No, I know.
There's not.
I know, and I'm not saying that God. I mean, God sent His Son Jesus to Earth, right?
Mhm.
And part of that was Him relating to His creation.
Mm.
So He understands when He became flesh, human.
Right.
He understands. He can relate because in the Bible, I forget what verse it says, but He knows. He relates to the struggle of being a human. So
Yeah.
sin and all that. If you can't, so if He was able to relate on that level, He surely had the ability to relate to all forms of human emotion and feeling, right?
Right.
I mean, He was even tempted by the devil.
Mm.
So, He always made the right choice. He was always making the right choice. So I think He always got close to that line where we choose either what's right and what's wrong. Obviously, He lived a perfect life. He always chose what was right. Meaning, He had to have had problems or decisions to choose between the two. Life probably wasn't all roses for Him.
No, I mean absolutely. Life. I mean, Jesus obviously did suffer persecution. Did suffer obviously pain physically. I mean, He felt human things, but again, I don't think it's in the Bible, anywhere in the Bible where it's recorded that he was attracted to a woman. I don't think it was feasible. I don't think it was even
Right. I mean, what's that good?
There's no point.
Right.
I don't think he was, to be honest. I think he had obviously a bigger mission,
Right.
and that's to save people from hell. I think that was his main purpose.
Yeah, I get it.
So I don't think he had time. Honestly, I don't think he's like, I'm not worried about that. I'm God. Like I don't need to. I'm focused on people's souls.
Sure.
So yeah, as far as that, I don't think he did. I mean, like I said, if somebody can show me a verse in the Bible where he did, then I would believe it. But until then, I don't believe it. So, yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a crazy thought because that's 30 years of life that we only get a glimpse of what Jesus was like.
Right.
And,
it's even recorded in Matthew. I think it was towards the end where it says basically like. If we were to record exactly everything that Jesus did, we wouldn't have time. I mean, There's so much that he did, and but we record certain things because the main purpose of the Bible, right, which is salvation, and there's certain events that happen where, the woman at the well or something, where it actually meant something.
Okay, so here's the thing too, then. Out of all the recordings of his miracles in the Bible, do you think there's more miracles that were not recorded that he performed?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean,
right.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean,
I
don't know, and I'm not gonna go beyond what I don't know. But
yeah,
I'm just
to speculate.
I'm just speculating exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just,
but. Who knows? I mean, probably. I mean, I don't see why not. But I can't definitely say yes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. But
I mean, I think the miracles that were supposed to count for something are obviously in the Bible for a reason.
Another question would be like, do you believe that miracles still exist?
Ooh. Well, absolutely. I think you gotta look for them, obviously. But yeah, I mean, miracles for sure exist. I mean, it's just a miracle every day that you drive your vehicle and you make it from point A to point B. Everything is so in line. You know what I mean? Like, What? When's the last miracle you've seen?
No, I absolutely believe that miracles do exist. But again, obviously in today's society, it doesn't matter. The facts doesn't matter anymore, right? It doesn't matter. There's no absolute truth, which I believe there is. But in today's world, it's like, no, there's not. Like, wrong is not wrong, and right is not right. Now it's totally flipped, right? Wrong is right, and right is wrong. I think that miracles still do exist. I personally haven't experienced one, but I've seen obviously my stepdad, he had leukemia, and the doctor told him, hey, you're gonna die.
Right.
You're gonna die in 3 months. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And those 3 months came, and 14, 15, 16, whatever it is, years later, he's here today. So, in that self, I do believe miracles do exist. But do I believe like the Jesus like back in the day where he was healing limbs and you know what I mean, or healing people that were
sick,
physically disabled? I don't know, and I'm not gonna pretend like I know. I don't know, but can it happen? I believe it could.
Yeah.
Do I know? No.
And that's excuse me. I forget who I had this conversation with, but we were talking about like if Jesus was to come now, then there would be this prophet performing these miracles, like raising people from the dead. And would people believe it? I mean, I think it would catch. Obviously, news of this would spread all over the world just like that, the way technology is. But I mean, word caught on quicker than fire when Jesus rose Lazarus from the dead. But with all the speculation of like if someone was to film that on their phone, him raising from someone from the dead, don't you think there'd be more people speculating like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. Especially,
I think it had been his timing, right? Like,
yeah, it was perfect timing. Yeah, I mean, it's always God's timing is always perfect, but Yeah, I mean, you know what? The thing is, I don't, even if obviously Jesus was walking the earth today, the thing was that in the book of Isaiah, I mean, there's things that prophesied about Jesus coming.
Right.
And so we can see that in the Old Testament.
Right.
And so we know, hey, this guy is going to be coming. The Messiah is going to be coming.
Right,
and this is what he's going to look like. Not physically, but as far as like his walk, the things he's going to do. He's going to die on the cross, and he's going to be wounded for our transgressions.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that we see in the Bible.
Right.
So if it were to say like, hey, this guy Jesus is going to be walking, the earth and do these kinds of miracles in the Bible, and we would see that today, then of course we can be like connected to. But if it doesn't say it, then obviously we can't believe it, right?
Right.
But I truly believe that people choose not to believe in God, even if they believe God, but they just don't choose to believe it sometimes because they don't want to, in a sense. Because I feel like if Jesus would come to physically come to earth, what? It's my phone.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I
I thought I was hearing something.
no.